at a 45-degree angle along there, as the sidewalk goes up to the deal, or do you think that should have been cut down so we can actually mow that someday? But
On
it seems
which
washing out
area?
already, so as the sidewalk goes up just before
Yep.
the new embankment there and stuff, literally it's about a 45-degree angle, about 4 foot
It
wide
should-
that no
well,
lawn
we
will.
need to see how it is right there. It should be
Right.
3 to 4 to 1 right there for mowing purposes on that the whole way through is how that was filled in there.
Which is washed out pretty good already and stuff anyway.
It washed out a couple times through that area. There's a
Yeah,
significant amount of water that comes down
Right.
that road right there. And exits the road, actually runs into the grass.
Now, previously, the water always ponded just before or at the corner there at the bottom of the hill there, and it looks like it's still gonna pond there, is that correct? There, we have no way to get rid of that water yet?
On the road, are you talking?
On the road.
Yeah,
Always-
we
that was
didn't
always-
change anything on the road.
Okay.
Nothing was
I
changed.
didn't know if we were gonna,
Right there. Nope.
if we would've put a surface drain or something in there to try and get rid of some of that, 'cause that always gets horrible in there and stuff anyway.
We could look at doing something there, but yeah, there was no improvements done to the actual road surface itself.
See, by the stain there, we still get a lot of water standing there anyway, and from the other day, and that used to always be 3-4 inches deep for cars going through there and spraying everybody previously, and didn't cut that any.
Yeah,
Didn't-
there's,
Didn't we extend the period to the end of August?
Yes, I
On the
believe so, on
contract.
one of the change orders, yes.
So
He's,
we're gonna extend it again, is that?
That hasn't been brought up yet.
Okay.
From them. I know they're waiting for the rail manufacturing right
Yeah.
now. That hasn't been delivered, at least we're not aware that it's been delivered yet, even to his shop or anything. So there's no status update on there. As far as extending, he hasn't requested anything yet.
Yeah,
He requested the first one and we went to the end of August and he has not requested another extension at this time.
which I guess it doesn't make any difference, but I'd like to have it.
Could have, yeah.
Yeah, it could have, but it doesn't at this point, because the bridge isn't open anyway, so.
Does the same company that stained the pier stain that, or that's just up to?
Yes, he's having the same company do
Okay,
the wall
so
and
that's
the
a
pier,
good
so
company.
it should,
Look like that.
plan
okay.
is the exact same, the specifications on the piers match the specs on the wall.
The piers look very nice.
yeah, the wall, actually, the forms are exactly the same too, which
Yep.
Right.
was kind of a good deal. Let's see. Gordon gets another tribute.
Where the sidewalk comes down the hill at the top of Summer and goes down, there's a little chicane just before the rise, is that?
Yep,
Are we going
that was
around
due
some?
to, there's an existing intake right there, even though it's kind of covered in, there's, rolled erosion right there and everything. It's just to get around that existing intake, so that wasn't gonna have to be moved.
High-speed bike, that'll be a problem. You're not gonna make that corner anyway, so. I'm just curious why it was still there anyway, so. Okay.
Yeah, and you can see where it was cut back on the backside. I know that's another question we've had. Where it was cut back on the backside, I think David's gonna propose that they use,
Be a rolled
mat or
erosion mat
something
there
to stabilize
To
it
hold
until
it
the,
after that.
so it doesn't wash down.
They grubbed back quite a ways anyway.
There was a little bit of an increase due to
We
the fact,
widened it.
we widened it to, it was previously, it was like 55 inches or something like that.
Yeah.
Because the curb was included.
Yep.
And we needed to widen it so that the brush for the Parks Department could come through. And that's 60 inches edge to edge. And so it's at 62 inches, so
But it
that,
should be close to 64, it varies,
64, yeah.
you know, a little bit through there on their curb manufacturing.
So, yeah, so that way they've got room to get that brush through there without scraping up the new curb and everything like that. 'Cause even with the brush comes off the ground about this much, so you can be next to that curb, but, you know, you'd still hit it if you were right on top of it.
Looks like they're doing a good job and stuff. Looks like the sidewalk
They're
looks
moving
nice and
been a
everything.
little slow, but like the next main part, they're waiting for the manufacturer to get that fabricated, so it's delivered on site for install.
Motion.
Move.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Goodell, Slater,
Aye.
Scholl,
Aye.
Rusher,
Aye.
Davis.
Aye.
And next, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2014-103. A resolution authorizing the revision of the 5-year capital improvement program for the Humboldt Municipal Airport and Airport Improvements Program data sheets for possible fiscal year 2015 through 2019 Federal Aviation Administration grants, and certifying that the required local match is available for each program awarded a grant.
This revision will add an update to the master plan of the airport as a capital project for the next federal fiscal year. This plan was updated, it must be updated every so often to stay eligible for federal grants. The last update was completed in 2002. The total cost would be $80,000 with a 10% local match requirement, or $8,000. Construction on the new conventional hangar has begun, and the hangar will likely be occupied as of December with a helicopter from American.
The 80,000, and I read that was the engineering was the 80,000, or the 80,000, I'm still confused on that.
It's, the 80,000 is the total project, because all it is engineering. It's just a plan update, so it's a lot of, essentially pushing paperwork is the full project.
$80,000 for the paperwork.
Yeah.
I know.
Don't they just stagger you? And then the city pays again.
And Sands is a contractor on that, but who oversees Sands?
Claps out Grover.
Okay, there, okay,
Is the engineering firm for the airport.
that's, okay, thank you.
They're the ones who do all the submittals for the FAA and everything like that.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Slater?
Aye.
Shaw?
Aye.
Rusher?
Aye.
Davis?
Aye.
Goodell?
Aye.
And last, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2014-104. A resolution proposing the vacation of a parcel of land in the city of Humboldt located in Lathrop's addition to the city of Humboldt, Iowa, Humboldt County, Iowa, commonly known as the 700 block of 8th Avenue South, and affixing a date for the public hearing thereon.
Troy Schramm's here, but Schramm Construction is planning on constructing 2 townhome buildings on the end of 8th Avenue South. They would like to purchase the 8th Avenue right-of-way to provide additional parking for the buildings. The structures would be 2 6-unit townhomes with attached garage, and the total structure value will exceed $1 million. The buildings would be held by an investment group as rentals, and the road would be extended to meet the vacated right-of-way, which would be 60 feet. This extension will continue to provide access to the community gardens with utility easement being maintained on the vacated right-of-way. The price that I've talked, again, this is up to the council, but the price I've talked with Troy about was $3,000. That's what has been charged for the last 3 utility easements of roughly similar length.
Is this at the end, of the cul-de-sac that we just put in?
Yeah.
Extends over to 8th Street?
Yeah, and actually no,
No,
it's,
60
not
feet
that
is all
far,
we're
60 feet
No,
is
no,
all
no.
we're going on the road.
so this would be here, I've got a exhibit that should show this. Okay, so this shows you where we're talking about. This is the new 8th Avenue South is on the bottom part, and then extending it out, that bump in would actually stay out flat so that it goes the full 60 feet. And then,
Do it on the screen behind you, because it doesn't show what the spoken there.
really?
No.
I was poking at it. So this bump out would not be here, it'd actually go the full, at the full width matching street specs to get to the 60, and then, the rest of this would just stay private.
So the townhouses were built on the south side of how we're looking here?
No, these are the townhouses right
Oh,
here.
they're on the end, okay.
Yeah, so you see the garages and the townhomes with the drive through the middle. This is the, extra parking. I guess, do you wanna?
So Seventh Avenue's on the top then? we're looking at that. Okay, okay.
This way.
Looks nice.
All right,
That
if you
something
want.
you'd be proposing for this year or next year or this fall or what? Or-
This
Or
fall.
just proposing it now anyway?
For this fall is the intent.
The formula that you used to come up with that $3,000. Is that the same formula that we used when we vacated like Knights Boulevard?
Yep.
So it's the same,
Yeah,
it's the
it's
same.
roughly
form-
the same
Okay.
per square
I
foot.
don't remember we approved. Second.
Okay.
And this will be a public hearing then on this and stuff.
Yep.
coming up.
This is just for the public hearing.
Yeah, and it's set for publication Thursday, so.
And how soon before this will become? How many days before on the public hearing stuff, and we would review this at the next council meeting then, or, okay?
It'd be set for the 22nd as, for the public hearing.
Okay. We know that, all right. Alrighty, roll call vote.
Shoal,
Aye.
Risher,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Goodell,
Aye.
Slater.
Aye.
That's the last of our regular scheduled items. Aaron, could you give us an update on some of the things going on?
Yeah, we've been working, I guess I've already talked about the projects. Two of the big issues, I guess one big issue is we're replacing 2 street employees. Like I said, Leroy's retiring and Andy X retiring out, so that'll be 2 employees that we have to replace. It's many, many years worth of service. We've got that set for publication for accepting applications to fill those vacancies.
Or for like a police department also?
Yep, we've got a police department. Holden is moving, so we have to replace him on the police department. I guess outside of that, mainly working on projects right now. Doing some ordinance enforcement, like I've updated, that's an ongoing project. Trying to keep everything taken care of. One of the things that we met about in the housing group was the fact that the next CDBG application for housing rehabilitation is coming up in December. So trying to get the plans together to make sure that that's is good, the best application we can put forth to try and get funding. There's a few things that we can tweak. Narrowing the scope is one of the things that'll really bump up the points. Maybe adding a little bit of extra LMI funding to the proposal, an extra 20,000 or something like that, might put us with a better grant application. We missed it by a pretty decent margin actually the last time, and I think part of that was just the fact that we had been funded 4 years previously, and so I think that there was somewhat of a less desire to fund it right away. So I think this year we'll have a good shot at it, and hopefully we can get those 12 homes completed.
We're talking about another $250,000 or 300,000 roughly, or whatever then.
It'd be about 300,000 worth of grant funding. So,
How's the street projects coming? Is Hellset buried in mud now, is he, or?
yeah. I guess, do you want to give an update on where they're at? What, have you talked to Heliseth on?
I haven't talked to him today. Talked to him on Thursday. It's going pretty slow for him. They're waiting for other people to come in and help assist with removals on it. He's progressing. He's trying to stay ahead of Blacktop, but they're not even really running yet anyways. So, Bruce is going as planned with his crews. Currently looking to find more people to assist with him due to the scope of the project and the time frame of it.
Are they bringing in another crew to pour from where they put the ramps to the property line?
They are, no, it'll still be them, but what they're doing is, what they wanted to do is get all of the curb and gutter done first, and then come back in and do the sidewalks.
Okay.
During the progression of the curb and gutter, it was pretty efficient for them to hit that first panel also. So that's why there's just really one approach panel and then a gap back to where the sidewalk closure sign is.
Right.
On it. No, it's still gonna be Bruce and everything else. If they can get the curb and gutter done, that means Blacktop can come in and patch and seal. And then that doesn't affect the sidewalks behind it, is their plan of attack.
Gotcha.
As they progress through that, there's a significant amount of curb and gutter and sidewalks to do in the community.
Anything else on street projects and stuff?
No, I think, I guess one of the other things we talked about was the curb on Sumner Avenue. It's pretty non-existent. you know, interestingly enough, I was talking with David Dockstead, with INS today, and I said that actually might be a benefit now as far as mowing, because you can just pump the mower over the top of it, and you wouldn't hit the curb. But that's part of the issue with the washout, is when the water comes down there, I mean, it can go right back into that.
It doesn't
into that
contain it in the roadway at all.
I mean, there's, you're talking about maybe a half inch of lip, if any.
Some spots less than that.
Yeah. So, it's pretty rough. That's one of the things that a question that was posed to Bob was, Bob Wagner was, you know, what's the history on that section? What does he know about it? You know, Walter, you know, obviously my history only goes back, you know, a little over 3 years, so.
Well, the last I remember, when we put, and John maybe help me on this, when we put a lift on Sumner Avenue, they didn't wanna core that, or because they were afraid that they'd get down into bad
Right.
underneath it, so that's why we just put a lift on the top.
Correct.
So if we core it now, I'm afraid we're gonna be back to the problem,
Right.
where do we stop and start again? So, you know, that was,
It probably.
that was what I recalled anyway,
Right,
so.
you know, that's what I recall too, Walt, and and I don't know, but it'd almost be cheaper to put a new curb and gutter in than it would be to redo, core that whole hill out, because, like you said,
I guess I'm
there were
right.
really some bad spots
Soft.
the last time they patched it and put a lift on it.
There was one small spot where we had that driveway, the water plant entrance, where we cut out because there was really it was a half inch in asphalt and then just mud underneath it.
Right.
Literally mud too.
I think we're gonna find that going up the
Soil
hill.
underneath
Exactly.
it. And who knows where you would hit that throughout that street
Yeah.
at.
Yeah.
Which I think is why, especially in the wintertime, it gets,
Yeah.
gets
Worse
whoopsie.
for you.
Yeah, it gets really bad because it's sinking and rising, and just makes me nervous when Aaron asked about that, about doing that. I said we need to talk to
Yeah.
Blacktop and make sure, because I think that's why we didn't do it last time, because I figured we'd get in trouble anyway, so.
Push comes to shove, that might be one of our next big projects, is doing the hill. I don't know what
It's a shame we shut it down for another year.
Yeah, exactly.
It's shut down now, and we shut it down for another year or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Well,
Yeah.
we have the money to do it now, so
No.
can't do it anyway, but.
yeah, it's, you know, it was really a situation, once the wall was completed and you start looking at it, and you sit there, you're like, well, that curb is pretty shot. I mean, it's pretty non-existent. Granted, most of the water, I think, flows to the other side.
Yeah,
But-
most of it does flow across the street to the east side there, but there's still enough of a cross slope there, enough to contain it, that it does wanna flow back, you know, towards the wall there. Especially when you get down to the corner, it really flattens out, and that doesn't really know where to go down there. But yeah, we're still waiting for a response from Bob. He has not responded on, if he has any history or knowledge of that roadway at that location.
So are we contemplating curb, or we're not we don't know yet then?
It was just kind of discussed between